By October 6, 1939, the invasion of Poland had officially come to an end. After a month of intense fighting, the last organized pockets of Polish military resistance were crushed, and the country was now fully divided between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. On this day, Adolf Hitler delivered a speech before the Reichstag, where he declared victory in Poland and made a surprising call for peace with Britain and France, offering them the chance to avoid further conflict. However, his proposition was met with deep skepticism in both Allied countries, which were by now firmly committed to the war. Military events. The final surrender at Kock. The most significant military event on October 6, 1939, was the conclusion of the Battle of Kock, which marked the last major engagement of the Polish campaign. General Franciszek Kleeberg's independent operational group Polski, after fighting valiantly against both German and Soviet forces, finally surrendered to the Germans after a 4-day battle. Kleeberg's forces, comprising around 17,000 Polish troops, had been isolated and without hope of relief, and the capitulation was inevitable. This surrender marked the final collapse of organized Polish resistance, effectively sealing Poland's fate under the dual occupations of Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. Diplomatic and geopolitical developments. Hitler's peace offer. While the military campaign in Poland was wrapping up, the diplomatic landscape of Europe was shifting. On October 6, Adolf Hitler addressed the German Reichstag, celebrating the victory in Poland and offering what he called a peace offer to Britain and France. Hitler claimed that the war had been forced upon Germany by Poland's refusal to negotiate over territorial disputes, and now that Poland was defeated, he claimed there was no reason for further conflict. He called for an end to hostilities, but with the underlying assumption that Germany's territorial gains would be accepted by the Allies. The speech was a strategic move aimed at portraying Germany as a nation willing to negotiate, while also buying time to prepare for further military actions. Both Britain and France rejected Hitler's offer, seeing it as disingenuous and a ploy to weaken their resolve. The rejection further solidified their commitment to the war, and any hope of a quick diplomatic resolution to the conflict was dashed. International reactions and media coverage. The events of October 6, 1939, were widely covered in both European and American media. In Germany, Hitler's speech was hailed as a triumph, with state-controlled newspapers lauding the Wehrmacht's success and framing Hitler's peace offer as a magnanimous gesture. German propaganda emphasized the swift and decisive nature of the Polish campaign and sought to paint Germany as a stabilizing force in Europe. In Britain and France, however, the response to Hitler's speech was far more critical. The British press, particularly The Times, dismissed the peace offer as a cynical maneuver, designed to delay Allied action and allow Germany to consolidate its gains. Public opinion in both Britain and France was already hardening against any form of negotiation with Hitler, and the speech only reinforced the determination to continue the fight. In the United States, newspapers like the New York Times reported on Hitler's speech with caution, reflecting the isolationist mood of the American public but also highlighting the growing concerns about Nazi Germany's ambitions. Although the U.S. remained neutral, there was increasing attention on the implications of the conflict for global stability, and Hitler's aggressive expansionism was raising alarms among American policymakers. Projections. The impact of October 6 on the future of the war. The events of October 6, 1939, marked a turning point in the early stages of World War II. With the fall of Poland, Nazi Germany had secured its first major victory of the war and solidified its Eastern Front in partnership with the Soviet Union. However, the rejection of Hitler's peace offer by Britain and France made it clear that the conflict would continue, setting the stage for the next phase of the war. For Poland, the defeat on October 6 represented the beginning of a brutal occupation that would last until the end of the war. Both the German and Soviet regimes would impose harsh measures on the Polish population, leading to widespread suffering and the destruction of Polish society. Meanwhile, for the Allies, the day signaled the need to prepare for a long and costly war, with Hitler's ambitions now turning westward toward France and the Low Countries. The rejection of peace talks ensured that the war would escalate in the months to come.